Alright, hello everybody. We are into the Solstice, Ultimate Solstice. Well, let's start out. Hello. We are into the Ultimate Series Solstice winners bracket. Nope, not winners bracket. Just the semifinals, because there is no winners bracket, there's no losers bracket. This is a single elimination tournament. And we're looking at Tromso Gutter here on the Legion side, going up against We Fight for Tupac, who have actually changed their. They're actually called Thrive now, maybe. Listed as Tromso Gutter on the Han Tour page. They are 45th, as they are mostly a Gold Division team. We Fight for Tupac, you might remember. They got destroyed by Lion Esports Club in Diamond Cycle 9 pretty quickly and washed out, but they were at one point a Diamond Division team. They played Cycle 10 in Gold as they were knocked down. So a team that we've seen before, and a team that has gotten wrecked before, but perhaps a little more adept than this Legion side, who has not, I believe, ever made it to Gold Division, or to Diamond Division, but maybe they have, I don't remember. Anyway, this is in fact the semifinals here, as we are past the round of 16. And it is notable, I think, that We Fight for Tupac over here on the Hellborn side managed to get all the way here purely through forfeits. They took out Fatality, who's another team you might actually remember, through a forfeit. They took out a bye team because two teams forfeited, and they actually started out in the inertial round of 64 against an empty slot, as apparently not enough teams signed up for the tournament to fill all 64 spots. Regardless, we are through the banning phase here, so like I said, two sort of lower division teams, maybe the high parts of Gold here, but should still expect to have a strong matchup at this point. Bans are Outkeeper of the Forest, Tempest, Ophelia, and Parasite. So nothing too shocking there. Really, all the junglers are taken out. There's pretty much going to be no jungle here unless we see a Legionnaire or a Blood Hunter or something strange like that. I'm still of the opinion that Blood Hunter can jungle. Some people say he can't. Draconis can jungle. So maybe we'll see that. That'd be pretty crazy. But more than that, I'm expecting both sides to be running a dual support strat. And Legion side over here, Empath, Moon Queen. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Moon Queen, obviously extremely strong hero. There's so many situations where she works extremely well. And there's no lineup that she doesn't fit. She brings hard carry, but she gets going early. She farms like crazy. She team fights. She pushes. I guess she's not really a ganker, but it's hard to gank her because she has that ultimate. And very early on, she'll get a Shrunken Head, Geo's Bane, Whispering Helm, and so if you come at her, if you don't kill her like in about 2 seconds, she'll turn things around on you and kill your entire team. So I'm just never going to argue with the Moon Queen pick. I think she fits pretty much every lineup, and it's just too easy to win with that hero to say, oh, it doesn't work. Now, Empath Moon Queen, scary. Empath obviously adding some damage when she uses the As One ability, plus the wall and the Essence Link helping to keep Moon Queen alive, lock down her opponents, separate them from each other, and allow her to be like, okay, you're dead, now you're dead, now you're dead, now you're dead, and I'm not dead. So a very potent combination, and almost a certainty that we will see Empath and Moon Queen in that bottom lane. So perhaps Hellborn aware of what Legion will do. The question is now, can they do anything about it? They picked up the Wretched Hag on top of the Sand Wraith, so presumably we'll see a Hag in that bottom lane. I don't like it very much, just because Empath is a very strong zoning support. So Hag is going to get forced out of bot lane really easily, and she will not be able to contest this Moon Queen very well. Now, I'm not sure how many situations could show up in which they would be able to shut down this Moon Queen, but to be completely honest, I think at this point an aggressive tri-lane might be the answer. Send Hag middle, Sand Wraith solo top, against the bubbles. Sand Wraith is actually in a fair bit of trouble against the solo bubbles, but as Sand Wraith does like babysitters. But I think they might need the aggressive tri-lane here, or at least a dual lane. I feel it doesn't seem like it's really possible for the Hellborn to run a solo against MQ and feel really glad about that and happy and think, oh, this is going to work, because Empath is a very strong zoning support. She hits extremely hard with the auto attacks. Obviously, the Essence Link helps keep her in lane, and the wall, if she is just able to keep you out and then get you pretty low, the wall can help finish you off. Plus Moonbeam support from MQ. It's going to be deadly for who goes down there. I would expect kills if it is a solo suicide, especially that Wretched Hag, who is pretty damn squishy. Regardless, they do pick up the Engineer here, so Engie certainly a good tri-lane hero, and maybe we're going to see that. more often run dual mid, which scares me a little bit because I don't think the dual mid is the answer here. I think they're going to look at Sandwraith and think that needs a babysit, and she sort of does. Like, I don't disagree with that. I'm just thinking, yeah, but you sort of need to tri-lane here. They could tri-lane the Sandwraith for that matter. Sandwraith, Engineer, and a third stun. Or second stun, technically, because a third hero with a stun. Regardless, Legion side, I think, looking a little better here. Bubbles will lock people down for a Moon Queen, provides initiation, provides burst magic damage. That's something that they didn't have before. So they now have strong push with MQ. They've got burst and initiation with Bubbles. They've got team fight with both Bubbles and Moon Queen. Strong support in Empath. Decent enough gank, not the best, but I think they can continue to address that with the last two heroes. Probably looking for a mid initiator that also provides some burst damage. We'll see who's on the board. Ravener is there. That would certainly be a very strong hero to pick up here. Pebbles is also available, could provide plenty, and then of course supports can provide initiation and burst damage. Will Witch Slayer, Pyromancer, that sort of thing, where you get him a portal key. You put him on the second support, as Empath is almost always the hard support. You put him on the second support, they get a little bit of farm, they get a PK up, maybe 20-25 minutes in, and all of a sudden there's a second initiator with Bubbles, adds a stun on top of his magical burst, and you can kill pretty much anybody, as this Hellborn team is not very tanky. It will be Torture, so I do like that hero. Obviously not a portal key user, but another stunner, very positive. And presumably going to be heading mid with some other hero to be dual laned, and Legion's lanes are looking awfully powerful here. Suicide Bubbles, love him in that role, he does extremely well. Empath, Moon Queen, bottom, Torture, mid, to be paired with somebody in mid. Like I said, Ravener, Pebble still available. They're soft picking that Gauntlet. I think that would also be a strong choice. And in general, I'm really just liking Legion's lineup here. Hellborn, you're going to have to do a little more to convince me. They've got solid team fight with all three heroes providing some AoE of some sort or lockdown, and I like the fact that Engineer will lock people down to allow Sandwraith to jump on them. Sandwraith is a hero that likes it when his teammates prevent the other team from running away. On the other hand, Hag and Engineer aren't the greatest at that, and so that while they will provide some lockdown, it's not going to be a ton. Rhapsody going to be picked up here, so they've got both of their supports as well. And Legion's looking for an initiator. Hellborn's presumably looking for an initiator as well, depending on whether they decide to tri-lane or put that Hag in the Suicide. This is a pretty strong tri-lane, so if they aggro tri-lane the Sandwraith NG Rhapsody, I think that would make a lot of sense. It would be a pretty damn strong tri-lane. It would help shut down that Moon Queen, allow them to go late, turn Sandwraith into a harder carry, and Sandwraith probably could out-carry this Moon Queen if he's off to a strong enough start. She's going to be the DM in the middle, so presumably going to be linked with that Torture, although that's not a guarantee actually. DM is a strong defensive mid laner, and an offensive one as well, just a very powerful hero. That's why you see him Suicide occasionally. And he does like levels, so it's very possible he will be soloed in mid, especially if it looks like the last pick on Hellborn is going to lead to a tri-lane. And before we go into that, though, bans are out. Magnus, Flux, and Rally taken out by the Legion side. Flux, no question, because, of course, NG is there. Dev going to mean that this is going to be dual lanes, as Dev basically always requires a tri-lane. So we'll see what they do, but strong bans sensible from the Legion side, taking out a bunch of mid heroes, and Hellborn removing Pestilence, Kraken, and Master Arm, so one support and more initiators. Obviously both sides looking for an initiator, so each side thinking, oh, these initiators fit your team, so we will remove them. And Devour, the last pick over there for We Fight for Tupac. I'm not a huge fan of this lineup. There's not a lot of burst damage. There isn't a lot of carry potential that is going to out-carry this Moon Queen and Drunken. There is certainly carry potential. Sandwraith and Hag can definitely take it late game, but I feel like MQ and Drunken will take it better into the late game. And so between the two of them, it's not really feeling super happy. The one thing is, Legion don't have too much versatility in their lanes. They could switch the Drunken and Bubbles and tri-lane Moon Queen either aggressively or defensively, but I really, really doubt that's going to happen. With the entire Legion team looking up top and have some action in the Hellborn Woods, I think it's pretty much inevitably going to end up being the 1-2-2 strat, and same thing on Hellborn. It's going to be the Sandwraith and Rhapsody top, no surprise there. Devo and Engineer middle, once again, no surprise there, and the Suicide Hag is. Both of these teams, I think, are going to run the standard lanes and be very predictable in that manner. The issue I have with that is while Legion's lanes are predictable, they're extremely strong. They have 2 stuns in the middle, whereas Hellborn only have 1. They've got a strong zoning support on bot for Empath to get that Hag out of the lane, and she should do just fine in terms of preventing Hag from doing much of anything in that bot lane. And Hag, that doesn't have a decent start, has some issues recovering. Not the most, that's why she is played Suicide occasionally. But we're going to find Dev here. We'll throw the Moonbeam. We'll see if they're going to do anything about this wall going out, forcing him back. There is a little opening there. And he's now in some trouble. Chain Reaction's well hit, and Dev's going to definitely fall here. Bubba's coming in for the last couple, and Matt's going to be a Bloodlust in favor of Torturer. So that will be boots for him, which is awful nice. And it does look like this is going to be a 2-1-2, actually. Alright, they're going to try land this DM top. Okay. I didn't see that coming, and I don't like it. Nope, Empath heading bottom. Good. Good, much better. So instead, they're going to do a little bit more to address the Sandwraith. Yeah, like I said, I didn't see this coming. I'm not a huge fan of it. I think up top, Bubbles would have had no issues in this lane, as Rhapsody's a fine zoning support, but against Bubbles, very few supports can effectively zone Bubbles just because Bubbles provides enough burst magic damage that you said they're trading auto attacks and the Shell Surf and the Song of the Sea come out, and all of a sudden you're dead. So you have to be really careful as the support not to actually continually trade auto attacks to the point that your own life gets put in danger. And because of that, Bubbles tends to be able to sit in this top lane and farm to some extent, get some levels. Sandwraith also is a melee, not going to do super well against a ranged Bubbles in terms of being able to harass himself. And this is looking like a defensive tri-lane now, actually. His NG's coming up top. I like this even less from Hellborn. If you're going to tri-lane, as once again, like I said, this is just what's going to happen to this Hag. She blinks into the woods and takes the health pot, but Empath is going to do this. And she will continue to look at this Hag. I mean, look at right off the bat, 45 to 48 now, 53 damage with the Lunar Blessing. Like, she hits hard. MQ hits even harder because she has Pretender's Crowns, but this is basically an Empath with a couple minor totems. There's no stat increasing items here. Hag has a bunch as well, and she actually has less damage than Empath here. So, I mean, this is Pretender's Crown on top of 2 minor totems, and she hits not quite as hard as Empath. So, Hag off to the side, will have to blink forward, perhaps. Otherwise, she'll take some damage, and she will just do that, then blink. So things can go very well for MQ in the spot lane, and Empath, of course, going to be able to stack these camps as well. 2-minute room going to spawn, and it is Invis. Missed the stack on that camp, unfortunately. Middle lane, Drunken and Torturer, so they do make the rotation. It looks like Bubbles is actually coming back here, so I like this much better. Bubbles should be just fine up top, especially against the tri-lane, which actually is dissolved now, as then just going back middle. Bubbles off to the side is level 3, perhaps looking for a jump here. Invis, Empath, they're going to go for Dev here in a second. If he comes back in. They've got 4 heroes here. There it is. There's the stun, and let's see, the wall, not really great. Kegson hitting 2, and they're going to see if they can actually kill this. Dev, Shell Surf misses there. One more auto attack. Not going to be enough. Empath taking a ton of damage, having to activate there, actually deny there on Devour. Keg taken by Torture, and that was a pretty terrible gank, really. The wall was absolutely awful. Just did nothing. Shell Surf off to the side wall won't do anything once again as Bubbles ports into the trees. Dev coming back into the lane. So good deny there from Devour as he survives the... Really, he did survive the gank. So I really don't know what the wall was there from Empath, but it basically cost them the kill, I think. The Shell Surf missing was also a pretty big deal, because that also cost them the kill. So they missed a couple of abilities, and if you're going to commit that much to a gank, then you shouldn't be missing stuff. Regardless, up top, Bubbles will get some lane control, should have some CS, he is level 3, and at this point, basically, Rhapsody can do very little to harass him out. So he should be just fine. Leeching some experience, getting a couple of CS, nice one there. And Legion lanes do go to the more predictable route that I thought they would. Rhapsody, of course, off in the jungle, going to be stacking the pull here, and will eventually pull it as they have lost lane control. Obviously, Legion's pull is blocked, but Empath's still able to stack the rest of the jungle as MQ loves that. There's put a bunch of damage onto Hag here. She does have Blink, and that's going to be it, so she's now going to have to go get a health pot and a mana pot in order to stay in this lane. She's level 4 as Empath's journey to middle lane that did not pay dividends actually sacrificed a lot, because if you let Hag get a few of these levels now, she'll be able to stay in lane, because she'll be able to trade harass with Empath, who's only level 1. And Empath won't be able to effectively zone her. She does not have a blink now, no mana, and now she's in a lot of trouble. She should die here as the wall comes out, forces her. So I don't know what her plan was there. I don't know why she thought that was a good idea. At the very least, the Moonbeam was going to help. Meanwhile, push back on NG in mid. The illusion's going to take a bunch of tower damage, but there we go. Finally, the last auto attack from the stagger will help get the kill on the engineer, and they do grab a 3-0 hero kill lead overall in favor of Legion, as obviously the laning phase is going substantially better. Hook back in on Devour, he'll just stagger away and be totally fine. And this is sort of what I was concerned about, is Legion lanes are much more powerful here. Empath, Moon Queen bottom, already Moon Queen's level 6, Hag's level 4, so she has access to her ultimate. Hag, if she had any illusions about diving this Moon Queen, they're gone now. And a good play actually could help get a kill there off to the side. Hag trying to do something, will get the last hit onto Drunken thanks to the hook. Torture trying to stand his ground a little bit here, force Hag out of lane. Legion Courier actually dies, as it was just sitting there. So nice kill there on Drunken as Hag comes in for the gank after falling. On top, looking for the hook here is Dev. We'll just eventually put the rod in. There's the hook back in, and the Sonar Scream gets the finish on that Torture. So Deb just walking in and being like, yeah, guess what, I got boots. You don't got... Actually, doesn't even have boots, just walked into Torture. Trying to avoid the hook, has to sidestep, and so Deb gains ground and gets the kill. Now level 6, and Drunken only level 4. On bot, meanwhile, Empath going to try to force Hag out a little bit here. Rune going to spawn in about 5 seconds, and Deb should be able to bottle it very easily. Actually, Deb doesn't even have a bottle. Hag has a bottle. So Hag will be able to bottle it. Refreshment is here. And NG actually, okay, that's where Dev, I was like, Dev doesn't have a bottle? Okay, NG has the bottle and is carrying it for Dev. Rune up top will be grabbed by Torture. It is an invisibility, once again. And it looks like they're going to try to grab a kill in this mid lane with the Invis Torture and Drunken Master, but he's only level 5, so they're going to have to go on to this Engineer here. As NG's stepping forward, stepping backward. And they have to be concerned about going on NG because Dev is level 6. So they'll be able to interrupt the initiation here. And I really don't think this is the right play. I think they should probably send this Torture to top or bottom. Bubble's actually still level 4. I really would have assumed he'd have access to his kelp field by now, but getting zoned out apparently pretty effectively. Speaking on bot, Rhapsody going to pour it in, trying to save this Hag, will do so. Staccato stuns, and here comes Sandwraith as well. Puts the Essence Link down. MQ running away, going to try to live, put the ultimate, actually gets the kill onto Hag, just dies herself though, and now Sandwraith perhaps in a little bit of trouble. Nope, going to turn this around to on that bat. Staccato stuns and the wall come out, but it's not going to matter, and she will drop. So that's a 2-for-1 in favor of Hellborn, and Sandwraith uses the ult to great effect there. It's going to mean Bubbles gets some free farm up top, but I certainly think they'll take that for a kill onto that Moon Queen and the Empath. It's worth it, especially considering Sandwraith got quite a bit of gold from it. Picking up 1 kill and 1 assist. Dev looking for a hook off to the side here, I think. Middle lane, Port going to come in from Hag, trying to hook that Torture, but not going to be successful. And of course, Torch Invis no longer active. Hellborn looking like they're grouping up middle, and going to try to do something about this lane. Bubble sort of pushing in top tower, is still level 5. Should be hitting 6 relatively soon, probably this creep wave. So things are pretty even at this point, and honestly I think that's Hellborn playing pretty well. I really would have expected Legion to win the lane phase here. They have, in my opinion, they have a better lane in middle. There is more single target, but really more burst damage, more lockdown there from Hellborn, or from Legion than there is from Hellborn, as there's only the hook and the slow from Dev compared to 2 stuns here from Legion side. Not to mention, I really expected Hag to have a much, much worse time on bot. I think the failed gank on mid, Empath spent a bunch of time here, and as a result, ended up really underleveled. Instead of doing that, she probably should have been like, alright, we're going to get this gank right now, and I'm not going to spend much time here, or I'm going to go back to bottom lane and zone this Hag some more. And instead, it took too long to set it up, it took too long to try to get the kills, they didn't even get any kills, and as a result, Hag was able to grab some farm on bot, and some experience and levels, and that turned into a big thing. Moonbeam there is actually going to try to chase down this Hag, but Staccato Stuns are in the background, and now Moon Queen's realizing, oops, that was probably a bad idea. Puts another Moonbeam down. 1 auto attack, and the Sonar Scream will finish her off, so aggression there not paying off, as Rhapsody was sitting in the side, and just waiting for MQ to jump Hag now. A little bit more. Meanwhile, in middle, actually Torture falls, as she will get jumped. Actually stunned back in, but Dev's just like, fine, I'll put the rot down. Sandwraith coming in here, nice hook back. Meanwhile, Sandwraith looking for a port, not going to find one. That's extremely loud in the lane. Bubble's coming into the bot. trying to finish off that hag. Will not do so. She takes the health pot and will be alright. So Hellborn actually doing pretty well here. To my surprise. Mid once again, Drunken Master activates the ultimate, in fact, I believe, but nothing really on him. Shell Surf getting thrown out again, trying to keep this hag out of lane, and will do so. I was getting a couple of CS. Finally is level 6. Bot tower getting pushing a little bit. In middle once again, ultimate going off. Nice Rhapsody ult, taking a lot of damage away. Hook in, gonna totally whiff. So MQ coming in here for the gank is not successful. As her ultimate wasn't a great one anyway. The creep wave was there as well, so a lot of damage was going to get eaten no matter what. Bot rune now is being contested. Dev falls thanks to all the burst damage from and lockdown from Empath and Bubbles. Dance Floor not nearly enough to save him. In the meantime, did somebody get the rune? Who got the rune? Dev might have. Did they kill it? I don't know. Bot meanwhile, hag gonna port into the trees and TP home. Up top, Sandwraith trying to do something to push on this tower. So look at the GPM charts right now. MQ just behind the Sandwraith, but Deb doing much better than Drunken Master in middle. Hag doing pretty well, but actually Bubbles as the Suicide doing even better than she is. And obviously, a little more important for Hellborn. Well, I guess it's equally important because it depends on how you look at it. Bubbles doing well in the early game allows him to do much better in the mid game. Hag doing well in the early game allows her to do much better in the late game. So depends on what phase you're looking at. Drunken get hooked in, but staggers away should be alright. As there was no ultimate coming out from Dev. Had access to it, I guess just a little too late. So Hellborn perhaps feeling a little more comfortable with their late game play now with Hag off to a semi-decent start. And Legion going, okay, we got Bubbles going well. Hag gonna be off to the here, looking to stop the blink, but she will just go into the trees. Empath looking for a wall, not going to spot her. And she has another blink in a couple of seconds anyway. So they're going to keep her out. Meanwhile, up top, Bubbles getting hit by everything. Puts the Kelp Field onto 2. No access to Shell Surf quite yet. 10 seconds and he's going to drop. Despite the take cover, it's just not going to stop. So, easy kill up there. As I guess he had probably already used the Shell Surf to farm and then did not have it. I think if you're that far pushed up in the lane, you probably shouldn't be doing that without ward support. Up top, Drunken perhaps looking for a jump onto Sandwraith, but Sandwraith playing this quite passively. Sitting behind the creep wave, and Drunken will back off. Middle, we have 3 heroes grouping up in that Devourer and the 2 supports. Up top, Rune can be contested a little bit, but DM grabs it. It is an invis. Once again, it's the 3rd invis in 12 minutes. This is 5 runes, 3 of them have been invisibility. Sorry, 6 runes. Math is hard. Off in the jungle, Torture helping, and Empath helping Moon Queen jungle for some reason. I guess she doesn't have her Whispering Helm yet, so a little not surprising. She has her Energizer and Steam Boots. As her farm isn't that good, 372 GPM, now has enough for the Whispering Helm. Sorry, her farm is pretty good. What am I talking about? Rhapsody off to the side, perhaps looking for a jump here. Places a ward instead, will spot Bubbles. On the bot, Wretched Hag gonna go into the side shop and try to live here. Shows herself. And they're not gonna act like this is anything big. She'll just blink on out and should be okay. Both supports are here, obviously, for the Legion, as we can see, but Hag playing that pretty cautiously, definitely the right play. Empath getting a couple of CS there. Or Sorcerer, sorry, getting a couple of CS there. It looks like I'm trying to push this bot tower in a little bit. Ballista is here, so with how low the tower is already, it should be a nice kill. Impalement coming out. Cliff also popped. Dance Floor from Rhapsody, as we're going to see Bubbles go in. Kept the Kelp Field on the 2, and the Silence. Sundrith coming in here. Back blast onto a couple, but 2 deaths here already on the Hellborn in Rhapsody and Hag. We'll get the deny, actually, as MQ mans up with the ultimate and gets the kill. Now trying to avoid the rot. It is not going to happen. She's going to drop, but Deb's going to pay the price here, I think. And his Bubbles has Shell Surf up, so gonna miss, actually. Solid Sea does too, but they still have him. There's gonna be too many auto attacks. No, nice ultimate there. Gonna keep him alive, and now Empath in a lot of trouble. She will drop. So does Dev. So that's going to be a 1-for-1. Still in favor as Bubbles is now in some trouble. Going to take some purges from the Engineer ult, but will just walk on out of there and be fine. Has the Shell Surf back, so actually he might choose to go in here. There is no tower, and there isn't going to be any support. With a Shell Surf, he could... No, that was a kill, you silly person. Level 4 Shell Surf is 280 magic damage. That would have been more than half the life remaining on Engie. And that would have been like Shell Surf 1, 2, 3 auto attack, something like that, and that would have been a dead Engineer. He had no mana either. So, interesting choice there from Bubbles, I think. As I think it definitely could have had the kill, but chooses not to engage. Regardless, on that bot fight, probably won here by Legion. I believe they took out 3. It was a 3 for 3 plus the tower. And Sandwraith died, so Moon Queen's death, not that big a deal. 1, 2, deny, 3. So actually it's 4. Sorry, it's 4 kills for technically 2 as Hook misses in the middle. I'm trying to go through that. As I believe 1 was denied, so. And a tower. In mid, they're going to look for something here. Chain reactions? No. 3 heroes are here, but 4 for the Hellborn. Turret going out, going to spot out which are illusions and which are not. We got Junkin now looking for the lunge. Will find it on the Hag. Nice keg, so actually doesn't hit anything. Torture going to get hooked in. Takes the Essence Link, trying to break it. Not going to happen. Chain reactions on Dev, but Torture's going to fall anyway. Rhapsody off to the side will drop finally. Sandwraith's going to come in, but nice deny there on Devo. Song Thief, or Sonar Scream finishes off Mr. Drunken Mask. That's going to be a 2-for-1 there in favor of Hellborn, as Empath going to jump inside Moon Queen here, and Sandwraith will get the hell out of there. So Dev getting a lucky deny there, preventing it from being an even trade. And pushing it in favor of his team. But now MQ going to push out this middle. And nobody from Hellborn, I think, can really oppose this. With MQ inside, or with the Empath inside of MQ, it's going to be really difficult. Kegstone actually going to go out there, and they will get this tower actually denied. Well done. Now going to be reinitiation there. Chain reactions, and Rhapsody's going to fall. Empath comes out, but both Hag and Sandwraith are going to be plenty alive here. MQ chasing. This is probably not a great idea. And she keeps going, but you're not going to kill this Hag, buddy. And if you get turned, then that would be very bad. Keeps trying to go for this. She has some support now. Hag is off to the side, blinks away, and she'll be alright. Despite the stagger forward, it's not going to work. Hook there onto Torture, and now she's totally screwed. Shell Surf coming in, it's not going to matter. A little more damage there, and it's going to be plain. Moonbeam there, actually. They're going to turn it on Dev. Moon Queen Finale actually activated as well, so perhaps a little bit of overkill, but they do nonetheless get the kill. 1-for-1 in favor of Legion, obviously, as Dev's doing better than Torture. Creating support for the opposing mid is obviously a good idea. And 17 minutes in, we have a small golden experience lead here for the Legion side, as the hero kills are even. It's mostly due to those first, those 2 tier 1 tower kills, which actually means Legion are a little bit more ahead than the golden experience would indicate, just because of the map control they can take as a result of those 2 tower deaths. And the fact that they haven't lost anything means Moon Queen can just sit in her jungle and farm away. Ancients have not been stacked at all yet. That's a bit of a misplay here. She has enough for the Firebrand, so she's at the point now where she can take triple stacked Ancients. Gonna stack these 2 camps. And almost cut a third, in fact. She had just cut down a little bit. She might have been able to triple stack those camps. Or to stack 3 camps at once, excuse me. Regardless, we'll get some solid farm down here. Now, silence going on, so Hag and the Kelfield will help finish her off. So they get a nice pick there, as Lola's on that MP once again grabbing it. Sandwraith looking for something, will find Drunken Master here in the middle, gets cut off with the energy field, and despite the staccato stun, or despite the power supply, staccato stuns are there, and that'll be a kill. 1-for-1 there. Pretty even, as that Drunken and Hag were farming at about the same rate, but the fact, I think, that, well, actually both carries got the kills anyway, so... Pretty much perfectly even. Okay, now why would you wall like that? If you wall in front of the tower or something, you have to walk around it to hit the tower. It does the same thing, and the creeps will get interrupted. Meanwhile, the tower is going to fall, so I'm not a huge fan of this empath here. I think the plays are a little interesting. Now that wall makes sense because it hits the ranged creep. That's what you want that for. But before, stopping the hero damage is much more important than the range creep damage. I don't think there even were any range creeps there. Maybe I was wrong, but regardless. Portal key picked up by Bubbles at just under 20 minutes. So that's a solid first item. Sandwraith has the helm on top of the Energizer and power supply, so he's going pretty tanky. Very common build there, figuring you'll start to do damage later. At this point, you just don't want to die. And your Dissipate, your Desert's Curse, your Desolate, is that what it's called? Deserted. That gives you a lot of extra damage. Top looking for a jump onto the Sandwraith as 4 heroes are going in there. Energizer pop on both sides, but there's the Essence Link on the wall. Not a great one, but enough. Gets the stun and the ultimate coming out from MQ. Will also do a bunch of damage to Hag, and they'll get 2 kills out of it. Hook coming in onto Moon Queen, and this is going to put the ultimate down, but the Stroken Head goes off, and it will prevent a lot of damage. Now Dev's in some trouble, as MQ is going to use the Whispering Helm to keep herself alive, and she gets a hat trick. That's probably not what you want to have happen if you're the Hellboy team. Impalement going out there, and they're going to get stopped a little bit by this turret, but off to the side, NG will get caught by Bubbles and forced back. This is going to be an easy top tower push. On bottom, meanwhile, Rhapsody trying to push this bot tower, but probably won't get it. And there goes top tower. Ports available on just Bubbles, in fact, as if they want to save this bot tower, he will be the one to have to do it. And sorry, Moon Queen had one as well, apparently. So we're going to put the dance floor down, and this tower's taking a lot of damage. Glyph goes out, we'll stop her, essentially, and Rhapsody's like, alright, I'm not going to deal with this. Might get into deny range here, and will, in fact, get into deny range, so this will be a deniable tower here on bottom. And Moon Queen going to farm this wave up and deny the tower. Right Hag heading bottom for, I don't know, something. Empath managing to de-ward in the jungle. So Legion doing pretty well here. 5k gold, 7.8k experience. Off to the side here, Moon Queen's really far pushed up, and you're in some trouble here, buddy. Has the Shrunken Head, obviously, but gonna have to activate it here and just run away. Her team support is here as well. Nice wall going out, and just not enough lockdown. There aren't enough stuns here on the Cellborn side. Rhapsody was there, but not close enough. And then, of course, when the Shrunken Head goes out, you really can't lock that MQ down. A little too fast between the high base move speed and then the Energizer as well. So forced to use a Shrunken cooldown there, but certainly worth it to save her life. And she is at nearly 500 gold per minute at this point. Sandwraith just at 330, so that's really concerned about this in the Hellborn team. Neither one of their late game heroes are farming very well. And MQ is farming very well, and MQ could actually outcarry them combined. Dev gonna get stopped here with the stuff. Wall actually, again, off to the side. If you put it down a little bit better, that's an easy kill. Empath or Moon Queen gonna get eaten here. Bat Blast on top of that, and MQ's gonna drop here. So like, well, Weedfield goes on to 3. Dev's still in some trouble. Gonna get the hook onto Bubbles now, and we'll actually drop her as well. Hag gets picked up in the background by Drunken Master Cook. Dev gonna fall here, but now Empath gonna have to run away. And Keg gonna go out onto 2. As I'm not feeling these Empath walls. Because like it's pretty easy to set up a wall there that just blocks the Dev out and prevents the team from going in. Instead, she used half of it on the trees. And she should definitely have the range. I mean, I've played quite a bit of Empath myself. I really like that hero, and should definitely have the range from sitting right next to the Devourer to be able to block him using those trees. So I don't know why that happened, but it would have been much better, I think. Perhaps not the wisest idea to reinitiate there, as MQ had just used her Shrunken and was still on cooldown. And he's just going to be triple stacked here, and please don't take them. Moon Queen is back up in 10 seconds. Please do not kill these ancients. Thank you. So, Thrive here on Legion, or Tromso Gutter, depending on what you want to call them. They are in a slight lead, and I think they're generally doing a little better just because this MQ is farming quite well, and the rest of the Hellborn heroes are not. Or all the Hellborn heroes pretty much are not farming that well. So she looks like she's getting to the point where she's basically just going to be like, I'm going to kill your entire base now, and you're not going to do anything about it. Taking all these ancients here should get her the Firebrand, and there it is. One Predator going back there, preventing it from spawning again. As actually, they might have died within the circle, but not sure. Regardless, lots of farm there, 2,400 gold, and so that should be a Firebrand up right now. Come on, buddy. You don't really need the vestments and the shrunken head. There's the Firebrand. We'll take out some of these jungle creeps, and continuing to farm very well at 480 gold per minute. One Arcana picked up by Bubbles, so presumably that's going to be Hellflower. Obviously, Blink, Hellflower, all a very good combination. Same thing with Blink Sheep. Anything Blink and some sort of Disable is usually very good. Drunken going to jump here, going to try and kill this NG, won't happen. As Legion are now looking like they're geared up to push here. Faking the port, maybe? I don't know. But Bubbles is finally here, and they have 5 men. That Firebrand finish on Moon Queen should be a pretty easy tower kill here. Looks like they're actually going to back off a little bit, feeling like they don't want to do it. Sandwraith obviously up top, but with the ultimate is in any team fight instantly. It's not really a big deal. We're just going to be countered down here. Take the Ancients. Illusion Moon Queen. She takes the bottle. Off to the side, Rhapsody going to put the Danthorn Kongor Fade. That is going to do. Bubbles jumping in here with a portal key, and Rhapsody's going to get killed despite the hook coming back, and actually broke the kelp field and killed her. Nice ultimate there from MQ. Sandwraith Illusion's eating a lot of it, but its Engineer still falls. Off to the side, puts the Essence Link, and actually Sandwraith, just everything, that's really annoying. But Dev's going to die here off to the side as Drunken Master also fell. That's a 3 for 1. The giant scream of death from all the Sandwraith Illusions, I think he actually dies, and then that's not the case. So easy tower push there for Legion as they increase their advantage. Perhaps now going to go for Kongor. We'll see what they do. Yep, it looks like it. MQ, you have illusions over here. You should use them. MQ getting stunned out pretty hard here. Again with the wall. Finally using the illusions to do something, but this is still going to be a Kongor kill relatively easily. Obviously token going to Moon Queen. Dropping her port to do so. So they are a little bit vulnerable in terms of pushing up. I think they might use this to farm more than anything and be like, alright, MQ is definitely going to be okay to farm for a while. Ancient's going to be stacked over here by Bubbles. It's courteous of him. And things obviously looking pretty good here for the Legion side. That MQ farming extremely well, 520 gold per minute, and it seems like I'm just following her around. Sort of I am. I mean, she is this game. It's MQ and Sandwraith has not been that interesting. She hasn't been participating in nearly as many fights. Obviously, MQ here, 9, 4, and 6. Sandwraith just 3, 2, and 5. So more aggression here from Moon Queen, a little more interesting to watch. And Sandwraith has just been farming, and he's not doing all that well. 357 gold per minute. Dev at 280, and that's their second highest farmer down at Wretched Hag at 250. So speaking of Hag, on bot we'll get Moonbeamed, and Stomp is too late, so she'll just jump into the trees and teleport on home. In the woods, meanwhile, Rhapsody getting caught out by this Bubbles and probably dead. Desert's Curse going off. Wall actually stops him, and that'll be an easy kill. Bubbles off to the side, take cover, portal key away, and we'll be fine. Empath jumping inside Drunken Master, perhaps looking for something here. Staggers away from the keg stun and takes the Desert's Curse. Turret not doing too much. Moon Queen taking the bot tower, perhaps going to keep pushing, as they really can't afford to keep doing this. Like, MQ can just keep pushing this. Nope, not going to. Meanwhile, up top, Shrunken Head activated by Drunken Master, looking for something here. Hook doesn't actually hit him. Pushes the Diva back in. Bubbles in here now for some disruption. Dev taking a lot of damage, will drop pretty easily. And nice humiliation, that's good. Energy Fear going to kill very quickly. Desert's Chorus going out, hitting a couple off the side. Bubbles looking for some reinitiation. Engineer's going to pour it away. And Sandwraith is running probably a little too fast. Bubbles will give up the chase. Meanwhile, like I said, MQ is going to push this bot lane. So that's going to be a tower dead. And Hag going to come in here, activates the ultimate and the Shrunken Head, doing a bunch of damage to everybody. But it's getting spread pretty heavily. Ultimate from Rhapsody, so that'll be the Kogan gone. And this is probably going to be a death on MQ as Bat Blast comes out there. And the Staccato Suns to lock her down. She has no Shrunken, of course, so she's going to drop. A little too aggressive there, perhaps, is that Moon Queen, but still doing pretty well. So she's sort of at the point now where she can afford to make mistakes. Has Geometer's Bane finished and 1,800 gold saved up. I'm thinking we'll either see Wingbow or the completed Symbol of Rage. Considering how aggressive she's been playing, I think I'd prefer the Symbol of Rage, because it'll basically allow her to do that and get away with it. It's pretty hilarious. I mean, Symbol Shrunken activation is basically, yeah, now I win or you run. You have two options. I will kill your entire team, or you can run away. And then still I might kill your entire team. So we'll see what she chooses to go for. Still dead for another few seconds. This has generally been one of the more aggressive and punishable Moon Queens I've seen. But We Fight for Tupac not really actually punishing her. She's been caught out a number of times. And despite that, 524 gold per minute. A, because it's Moon Queen, and that's what Moon Queen does. And B, because it seems like We Fight for Tupac has not really had the appropriate response to a lot of these aggressions from... While going out, we'll spot the ward. Might not last long enough. Just a little bit. Desert's Curse going out on an empath, but not going to make a huge difference, as that's a nice counter ward. Moon Queen up top, pushing this stuff in with her team. Should be alright to keep going. Hellflower finished on Bubbles at 31 minutes. Not bad at all. Drunken has the Bulwark, Shrunken Head, Ghost Mortars, Mystic Vestment, so he's reasonably tanky. Plenty of physical damage from him, as well as that MQ. Empath actually has a Ring of Sorcery on top of her Striders and a Bound Eye, so she's pretty geared here. 205 gold per minute is pretty strong for a support. Same thing with a Torture, 226 GPM, Push Book, Steam Boots, and Power Supply on top of Mystic Vestments. So both the supports here on Legion side doing pretty well. Hellborn supports not so well. Rhapsody presumably going for an Astrolabe, but she has the Gauntlet. And... or the Bracelet or whatever it's called. Fortified Bracer. There's a nice Calfield onto 3. Rhapsody going to be stopping the ultimate immediately. Moon Queen ultimate going off onto a bunch. Sandwraith absorbing it from a ton though. Rhapsody and Dev will both die immediately. Bubbles in a lot of trouble here. Going to try to walk out. Will do so. There goes her Shag as well. Sandwraith getting locked down here. Will die. It's going to be a 4 for 1, and Engineer will live. But Empath Moon Queen, man. Just jumps in there, activates that Shrunken, and the Geometer's Bane starts auto-attacking, and that's game. And that actually might literally be game, as it looks like they're going to throw up a CC vote. And I can't really blame them for that, like I said. I've said it many times. MQ too strong. We'll probably see it banned next game, because, or first picked by We Fight for Tupac, because that hero is just so damn strong. And it becomes a situation where you either punish her so hard in the early game and prevent her from doing anything by pushing her in like crazy and continually forcing her out of lanes and continuously interrupting her farm, or you lose the game. Those are the two options when you play against the Moon Queen. So, or you can ban her. I guess there's 3. Or pick her yourself and don't play against the Moon Queen. But if she is in the game against you, there are so many ways for that MQ to, even if she gets punished a lot, like you have to do it continuously. If you give her 10 minutes, even if you've been shutting her down for a long time, she will come back and destroy you. That's just what she does. So, Hellborn here not respecting the Moon Queen, and they pay for it. So, game 1 here will go to the Legion side in Thrive/Tromso Gutter, and We Fight for Tupac will be down 0-1 in this in the semifinals of the Ultimate Series Solstice, and that's going to move us on to game